Coach, this is an offense that allows wide receivers to get the ball in a lot of different ways. What do you think this group can do in those kinds of situations?
Man, if I'm anybody that's playing the receiver position in this offense at this university, I'm more than thrilled and excited for the opportunity. Just the volume that we have in terms of an offense, the different ways, first level, second level, and third level. I'm excited, and it really embodies what an NFL offense is. And we mean that, not just saying, hey, you're going to run 4 different routes on the route tree and be great at those. Well, we're going to ask you to run a multitude of routes from the outside, from the slot, jets, reverses, sweeps, naked, all these different type of things. And I think that's going to be the fun part about this offense. And if I'm a guy that, has the ability to win at all 3 levels and specialize in those things, I'm more than thrilled and more excited. So I'm excited with the way that the guys are taking this in, and it's a lot on them. I'm not going to be beside that fact, but if you allow excuses, there'll be excuses. So, but it's exciting. It's definitely an exciting time from that standpoint.
Coach, we got to speak with Vinny earlier this week, and he shared that he was part of the leadership group within the team. That seemed to be a lot of pride for him. Just how has he been, obviously leading by example, but also a verbal leader for your room as a whole?
Man, you know what? I'd say that was one of the more things we emphasized early on when I first got here. You saw the rise in the spring, but I think even just through 2 practices right now, you start to see a real increase in that. Just him challenging other guys, challenging himself, making sure it's not good enough. And then I always think with the leadership perspective, when somebody holds themselves to a higher standard and it's not good enough, they can hold other people to that standard. And Vinny Anthony embodies that without a question. And he really has done that, and it's paid the dividends within the rest of the room as well.
In this day and age, a guy like him could have played the market in the offseason last year. It sounds like it wasn't even a consideration for him.
Man, I think that's a testament of a Wisconsin man through and through right there. A testament to him, the way he was raised, the things and the morale and the things that are important to him. I think those are things that are testament to him. But also, I think partially just the relationships that are built within this program, the players, the coaches, the staff, everybody that lays hands on the young man played a pivotal part in that as well. So,
what stands out as far as Tretch's first few practices, or first couple practices back?
Yeah,
stands out to you?
Man, play speed, man. It's a lightning in the bottle right there. That's the fun thing about a kid like that, man. Just different ways that you can be able to utilize that. That's going to be the fun thing about it. But, definitely missed that. Obviously didn't have that in the springtime. But being able to have that out here, man, just the play speed that kid plays with, man, there's no hesitation. And the one thing we emphasize as a room, hesitation kills. And he does not flinch by any stretch, no matter what you ask him to do. And it stood out. And honestly, ever since he's been back, other guys take on to that. They're like, well, I got to go. Man, that's how it's supposed to look. I got to embody that myself too, man. So it's been a blessing to have him out there.
Jaden Ballard doesn't have a lot of live game tapes or meaningful reps at Ohio State. I'm guessing you guys relied on maybe a lot of practice film that was sent over. What did you see in that made you think, he was the guy you wanted to bring over here?
Yeah, I think tools and the skill set that the kid has, I think that's always going to be the thing that you see, whether it's through the game tape that he has or through other things, word of mouth, whatever the case may be from that standpoint. But also, I just think things outside of the skill set are just vitally important. Like, okay, maybe this is a guy that hasn't played particularly that much at a previous place. Okay, what's his mental makeup? Where's his mindset at? I mean, you're talking about a guy that, hey, this is his last year. Mindset should be like, man, my back's against the wall. This is my last opportunity. Like, hungry versus starving. That's something we stress in the room. Like, man, this is the only opportunity that I have. And I want to do it with people around me that believe in me and trust in me with this opportunity as well. And just in that zone, giving them my all through everything that I do.
One of the things that Luke mentioned about Jaden last week was this idea of getting him a little more confidence because maybe it didn't quite work out for him how he wanted to as previous stop. Just how has that been throughout the time you've been around him? Just trying to get him to believe I'm that guy.
Yeah, man, the receiver position is nothing but confidence. You see guys with maybe lesser in terms of athleticism, they still find ways to dominate because of their mental makeup and just the dominance that they have. And for some people that's nature versus nurture. Some people just, hey, it's a nature, it's in them, you know what I mean? And I do believe that some people, it could be built upon them as well, just through the habits that they pursue. And not just on the field, but off the field, how they approach you, how they talk to you, how they walk, all those things. Everything matters, and it just becomes part of your DNA from that standpoint. So not just challenging them from on the field perspective, but off the field as well. Any and everything that you do, man, walk around chest up, head held high, like, man, I got this. It's on me.
We saw some flashes from Joe Griffin in the spring. Saw another pretty impressive catch here. What does he have to do
to maybe get some more opportunities you think?
Yeah, at the end of the day, and it's the first thing we stress to the room, like if you look around this room and you stare at everybody within there, like everybody thinks they deserve the ball and everybody's got talent in some way, shape, or form. And that's the beauty of it. And I told them, like, hey, everybody's brothers in this room. Everybody's got siblings in this room. You love your brothers, all right? You love them dearly and truly, but also at the same time, how many times do you compete with your brothers and sisters as well? It's the same mantra here. And at the end of the day, guys got to be ready to be pushed by other guys. And, Joe Griffin's a pivotal point right now. Just, okay, how much better can I get? How much more can I learn the system? How much can I continuously show? And I think guys that are able to learn the system at a faster rate are able to showcase their skills at a better rate as well. And so just continually pressing on. Consistency is the matter at hand.
Luke mentioned yesterday the amount of competition you've got in your room and how many guys are right on that edge of like, could be a big player, could be on the back burner depending on how they perform.
Yes, sir.
How do you kind of manage that throughout practice and throughout workouts, everything else to get guys to step up when they need to?
Yeah, clear cut, concise communication. To be quite honest with you, I mean, there's no sugarcoating it to any and every last one of them. There's one ball, guys. No matter where you go, the receiver position is always going to be the position that's looked upon as, viewed as a maybe selfish per se, or whatever the case is there. But at the end of the day, when we talk about the idea of complementary football, it is understanding that, hey, the things that are pursuing forward, whether it's your opportunities with the ball, opportunities without the ball, reps, roles, things of that nature, is for the greater good. But for these guys to understand, hey, within a role, I take a role, I earn a role, and I make a greater role from that role. And for each and every guy to understand, hey, I have a role, but if I do well in my role, that role can expand and that role can grow into maybe the things that I wanted to be or pursue it to be. So I think that's a big portion that we stress upon this room. And, just, hey, it's a lot of reps out here, but it ain't a ton.
You feel proudest when he was coming through the portal and you guys, watched him on tape. What stood out to you in terms of like, hey, this is the guy that I want in that role?
Yeah, I think, man, just the play speed, man. Play speed, man. I think one of the more important things from the receiver position is the play style. And he's a guy that he plays fast. Obviously, he's a fast kid, twitchy kid, live body, but man, he just plays fast as well. You see him do a lot of different things, just from his time in Hawaii, even his time in Kentucky as well, where he was playing in a very similar system like this, very NFL style. And that excites you a little bit, being able to see him work in the slot, work outside, and just the multiplicity that he brings to the table. So it'll just be a matter of him being able to showcase that.
How challenging, is it to come in, especially in this offense, come in after spring practice and try to, play catch up from a learning standpoint?
Yeah, it's as challenging as you make it, from a numerical standpoint and a timestamp standpoint. Yeah, he's limited in that regard because these guys have been here since the last 6-7 months and they've been learning and growing in the system. And talking about a guy that's had 2.5 or so months, and all right, we gotta speed the process up. But I think the will and the want to and the hunger to be able to say, okay, I understand that and I am behind, but I'm not going to let that be an excuse for me not to get this system and to make myself maximize the opportunities as well. So we can sit here and say, yeah, it is a disadvantage, but I think also at the same time, it's a disadvantage if you allow it to be.
Two more if we got him.
Tyler Henry is a guy that's kind of been on that cusp like you were talking about earlier. Where do you think he is at in terms of like, is he more of an inside guy or is more of a slack or more of an outside guy? Like, how do you kind of view him in the context of this offense?
Yeah, I think, man, he's a guy that's extremely versatile. The beautiful thing about him is he's a guy that's played in this conference before, which is a fun thing in that its own. But he showcased somebody that can be extremely versatile with some of the things that we're doing on the perimeter, some of the vertical things that we're doing as well. He showcased that. I mean, even as a returner, just from the ball in his hand, he does a good job. And you see that when we do certain things with him out on the edge. So it's going to be fun to see just how we can garnish a role with him and expand the role as well. And the consistency that he shows will be the biggest privy going forward as well.
Coach, to follow up with Tretch just really quick, what have you seen from him in terms of eagerness or excitement to get back on the field, given that he had to spend pretty much all of spring learning on the sideline?
I think everybody in this room knows Tretch that is not an issue with him. I mean, you talk about somebody that embodies eagerness, embodies loving this game, the passion that we play for this game. I mean, he embodies that. And I mean, ever since, things have transpired, like every day he's hungry, every day he's asking questions, every day he's looking to do more. He's probably one of the first guys up in the morning. I'm up at whatever time in the morning and I walk out to the breakfast and he's right there, like, what's up, coach? Golly, man, y'all don't wake up until another hour or so. But that's who he is. It's not a facade, it's not fake, it's really who he is. And you see that through his play. You see that through his execution. You see that through his confidence. And that's why you don't see any flinch or hesitation out of him. So eagerness, without a question. He's ready to get out there, and I'm excited. And still some things to grow with, and go with it.